I saw this really cool YouTube short. I can't pronounce it correctly. I call it a maha. It's probably not the way you say it, but I saw this cool video based off of a Korean comic, and it said she's reborn as her ex-husband's child. So what it is you have this girl, and she married this dude, and I'll narrate as we go through. Like she really likes the dude. The dude turns out to be a jerk. He cheats on her and cheats on her with this chick and gets her pregnant. And then she freaks out. He doesn't like her anymore. He ends up getting rid of her, and then she dies and gets reincarnated as their child. And so I want to create that scenario in AI Dungeon and see what happens. So that's what we're doing today. So I'm gonna create a scenario. Let's see. We're gonna make it empty. And I have to have music in the background, so I made music just so I can have something in the background. So that's what's happening. Private. Let's make it like teen. And we're gonna call it reincarnated as my ex-husband's child. Okay. We have our story. Can we put in like a plot? No, we'll just do story. Character name. Character name was married to Prince. I don't know what the name is, dude. Prince. Some like stereotypical. I don't want him to have a cool name because he's not a good person. Let's see. Let's look at this dude. Richard. He looks like a Richard. Prince Richard. In my previous life. First. You are character name. You were married to Prince Richard in your previous life. Originally, the two of you were happily married. I guess we should put in like a gender. You are a question mark. What is your gender? There. That way other people can play this if they want to. You were married to Prince Richard in your previous life. Originally, the two of you were happily married until Lady Belladonna Nightshade entered the picture. Lady Belladonna Nightshade. She entered the picture. Let's take a look at her. Yeah, this is her. I should mention, what is your character's first and last name? You are a... What is your title? Princess... Prince... Well, I guess technically... You guys can make your title whatever you want. Queen, Prince. I'm gonna make my character a, We're gonna change him from Prince to King. King Richard in your... Gotta get used to doing that. Previous life. Originally, the two of you were happily married until Lady Belladonna Nightshade entered the picture. She seduced King Richard, and they had an affair behind your back. When you found out about the affair, one day, King Richard comes to you with Lady Belladonna. They announce that Lady Belladonna is pregnant with Richard's child. King Richard decides to get rid of you so he can marry Lady Belladonna. You are sudden decides to, we'll say execute you so he can marry Lady Belladonna. After you are executed, you wake up. You wish to have revenge on your ex-husband. The next thing you know, you wake up and find out that you are Richard's and Belladonna's baby. Find out that you have been reincarnated as Richard and Belladonna's baby. I guess it doesn't matter what the title are. They name you. What is your character name? What is your new character name in your new life? You are a 1 day old baby. And then I'm gonna do story cards for them. And King, Prince, Princess, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want. What is your new character? What is your name in your new life? 1 day old baby. Alright, so we are gonna describe King Richard. So his name is Richard Ray. We're gonna copy this. We're gonna put him on the bottom. Richard Ray, King Richard Ray, King Richard, King Ray. Weapons? Okay, we're gonna say King Richard Ray is your ex-husband in your previous life. He had an affair with Belladonna Nightshade and had a baby with her, which you had a baby with her. He had you executed so he could marry Belladonna and make her the new queen. He has a cold, arrogant, and selfish personality. Oh, I should describe what he looks like. He has short silver hair. What kind of eyes are those? No, I don't want to see her face. I don't care about her face. And icy blue eyes and white skin. Okay, and then we'll do Belladonna Nightshade. Okay, we're gonna copy. We're gonna paste this here. We're gonna do Belladonna Nightshade, Lady Belladonna, Lady Nightshade, and then she also is now a queen, so Queen Belladonna. Oh. Yeah. I guess she's now queen. She's no longer a lady. You know what? This is fine. This is beautiful. Oh, I should say what their kingdom is. Belladonna Nightshade is the new queen of Exodia. We'll base it off of Yu-Gi-Oh! Of the Exodia kingdom. Oh my god. She had an affair with King Richard Ray and assisted in getting the previous queen executed. She had a baby with King Richard Ray. Okay, well, that's Richard Ray. Richard Ray is the king of the Exodia kingdom. He is your ex-husband in your previous life. He had an affair with Belladonna Nightshade and had a baby with her. He had you executed so he can marry Belladonna and make her the new queen. He has an cold, arrogant, and selfish personality. Yeah, I guess I didn't need all these extra triggers. Really don't need these extra triggers. And then we have Belladonna Nightshade. I think this looks good. And then, oh wait, I have to describe what she looks like. She has long, raven black hair. Let's take a look at her. I don't like the color. Emerald green eyes and white skin. She is entitled, bratty, and snobby. Make her snobby. Okay. You have you look like. Describe what you look like. What kind of hair do you... Hair, eyes, and skin color. Alright, hopefully I put this in correct. Got story cards. You are reading... I'm not even gonna bother. I'm like, romance, isekai, noble incarnation. Might as well just publish it. I created a title for it. Oh, I have to put tags in the description. Oh, description. You were married to King Richard. You were married to King Richard, but he had an affair with Lady Belladonna. He comes to you and tells you that Lady Belladonna is pregnant. He has you executed so he can marry Lady Belladonna. You are reincarnated as your ex-husband's child. Okay. Alright. Now we can make this published. Yeah, whatever. Teen, we're gonna edit the scripts. Fantasy. None of these pictures match what we're trying to do here. Maybe. We'll just do this one and then we'll create a picture and then we'll make it like match the story. Alright, I'm gonna click finish. Yes! I finished our scenario. Only took me like 15 minutes. This is my first like published scenario, which is kind of cool. All right. I'm ready. Let's see if you guys are ready. I'm gonna play it. What is your character's first and last name? I'll just say Scarlet. Just kidding. What is your title? I used to be queen. What is your gender? I am female. I don't know why I'm capitalizing everything. What is your name in your new life? Ooh, I think Melody is a cute name. Melody. Describe what you look like. Hair, eyes, skin color. I have silver hair, icy blue eyes, and white skin. Okay. I forgot to add in an author's note. All of that jazz. I'm gonna have to go back to the scenario and fix that. Let me see, is it just playing one song? I want it to play all the songs. Open. I just realized it was just playing the same song over and over again. And that's gonna be annoying, so here, more of my songs. There we go. So let's add an author, plot essentials. I kinda wanna, I want to copy this and just put it as my plot essentials. Copy. I think I need to go back and fix the scenario really quick. It's not ready to be played yet. Okay, I'm gonna go back and fix my scenario. Then once it's fixed, then I can play it. Here. Add plot component. I want plot essentials. Boom. Author's note. Rated teen for language, blood, and violence. I want the writing style to be romantic, because I want it to be, I want it to be a comedy. Romantic comedy. Comedy, romance. And let's see, what else do I want? I have like a little script I like to follow that I created, where I just usually I just copy and paste it, but let me see. AI dungeon scripts. Pulling it in a different web browser. Oh, I like to describe the setting. I'm gonna say it's in the Victorian era. Oh, comedy, romance genre. Okay. Comedy, romance, genre, and setting is Victorian era. I don't know why I put period there. I think this looks good. I'm gonna finish. Perfect. Now it's ready to be played. See if that's better. All right, so we're gonna start again. Scarlet, Skitty. We are a queen. I am a female. Sorry, my internet is just weird. It's not very good right now. What is your name in your new life? We're gonna say Melody. Ooh, or Serenity. Like, you could do Serenity, like from Sailor Moon. I'll do Serenity. Alright, so I'm gonna say I have. You know what? I don't want to look like either one of my parents. I'm gonna have see, what does Sailor Moon look like? She has. I'm gonna have like platinum blonde hair, icy blue eyes, and white skin. You lie in your crib, swaddled in soft linens, your tiny fist clenched. Your mother, Belladonna, coos over you, her emerald eyes softening as she gazes down. Isn't she just the most precious thing? She gushes to the nursemaid, who nods eagerly. Yes, your majesty, a true princess. I am freaked the hell out that I am seeing Belladonna's face right now. However, I am a baby, so all I can do is cry. Play my music. You let out a wail, your tiny lungs filling the air before releasing a piercing cry. Belladonna's cooing turns to concern, her brows furrowing as she leans over the crib. What's wrong, little one? She asks, her voice laced with a hint of annoyance. The nursemaid rushes to your side, her eyes darting between you and Belladonna. When the nursemaid picks me up, I stop crying. Donna picks me up. I start crying again. Oh, man. The nursemaid scoops you up, her warm hands cradling your tiny body. Your cries subside instantly, replaced by soft, contented gurgle. Belladonna watches, her expression souring. Give her to me, she demands, holding out her arms. The nursemaid hesitates, glancing at you before handing you over. As soon as Belladonna's cold hands touch your skin, you let out another wail. Your body tensing as if remembering the pain she caused in your past life. Belladonna's face contorts in frustration, her voice rising. What is wrong with this child? She's been crying non-stop since she was born. The nursemaid steps back, her eyes wide with concern. Perhaps she's hungry, Your Majesty. She already does not like me. I might die today. You continue to cry, your tiny fist pounding against Belladonna's chest. Oh my gosh, the bee! Me in my baby form, trying to punch her, but I can't because I'm a baby. Take her away, she snaps at the nursemaid. I can't stand this constant wailing. The nursemaid quickly takes you back, rocking you gently in her arms. Belladonna watches, her lips pursed, and find out why she's crying so much. When Belladonna is out of sight, I stop crying. I start giggling. Because I pissed her off. The nursemaid, a kind-faced woman with warm brown eyes, looks down at you, her lips curving into a small smile. "There's my little troublemaker," she murmurs. Her voice soft and soothing, she bounces you gently, her eyes twinkling with amusement as you let out a soft, hiccuping giggle. "You're a clever one, aren't you?" She tells me her name. I need to know her name. That would make the whole situation easier. And then I'll add her as my story card. "I'm Martha," the nursemaid says, her smile widening. "You, little one, are Serenity, a beautiful name for a beautiful babe." She rocks you gently, her eyes never leaving yours. "You know, I've seen many a royal babe in my time, but none quite like you. You got a spark, a fire in those icy blue eyes." She chuckles softly, shaking her head. Okay, I'm gonna add her in. So, Martha, she is my nurse maid. She is kind and loves me. Martha. Beautiful. Oh wait, I should put like nursemaid, because she's my nursemaid. Nursemaid. King Richard sees me. I wonder what King Richard has to say about his baby. Let's see what he does. King Richard, his silver hair gleaming under the chandelier light, strides down the hallway, his icy blue eyes scanning the corridors. He spots Martha, bouncing you gently in her arms, and his step slow. He pauses, his gaze narrowing as he takes in your platinum blonde hair and icy blue eyes. "Is that the babe?" he asks, his voice cold and distant. Martha nods, her smile fading slightly. Yeah. I purposely made sure I looked nothing like that. Purposely did that. "Yes, Your Majesty," she replies. "This is Princess Serenity." Richard's eyes flicker over to you, his expression unreadable. "She's been quite the handful, hasn't she?" he remarks, his voice laced with a hint of disdain. Martha nods again, her grip on you tightening slightly. I glare at... Even though I am only a 1-day-old baby. I got some spunk, man. I might not live to see tomorrow, but at least I got the spunk. You squint your tiny eyes at King Richard, your little brows furrowing as if trying to convey your disdain. It's a futile attempt, given your age, but the gesture is clear enough. Richard's eyes widen slightly, a flicker of surprise passing over his face before he schools his features back into a mask of indifference. "She's just a babe," he says, his voice dismissive. Martha, sensing the tension, quickly interjects. "Indeed, Your Majesty, she's just learning to express herself." She bounces you gently, trying to distract you from the king's gaze. Richard, however, doesn't take his eyes off you. "I've seen that look before," he murmurs, his voice barely above a whisper. Martha's grip on you tightens, his eyes darting between you and the king. I simply look away at him, as if he is nothing. Yeah. You're gonna freaking, like... No. Just no. You turn your head away from King Richard, your tiny body squirming in Martha's arms, as if to emphasize your dismissal. The king's eyes narrow, a hint of anger flashing in their icy depths. She's just a babe, he repeats, his voice sharp. She doesn't understand what she's doing. Martha nods, her voice soothing as she tries to calm you. I know exactly what I am doing. They don't know that. Oh, actually, I want to see what else happens. I'm just gonna click continue. Martha's soothing voice is a stark contrast to the king's sharp tone. Indeed, your majesty, babies have a way of picking up on tension, don't they? She bounces you gently, trying to distract you from the king's gaze. King Richard, however, doesn't take his eyes off you. He leans in slightly, his voice a low growl. I've seen that look before, Scarlet. Martha stammers. Your Majesty, this is not, the deceased Queen Scarlet. Hello, Amazon. This is your child, Princess Serenity. He figured out it was me, like, instantly. King Richard's eyes widen in shock, his gaze flickering between you and Martha. What did you say? He demands, his voice cold and hard. Martha swallows hard, her voice trembling slightly. This is Princess Serenity, Your Majesty. Your child with the Queen. The King's expression darkens, his jaw clenching as he stares at you. Impossible, he growls. Scarlet is dead. I just realized I have to fix my story summary after this, but that's okay. I realized that I saved the name up there. Whatever, that's okay. Impossible, Scarlet is dead. I wonder if there's like one. Oh yeah, this matches more. Martha's eyes widen in shock, her voice trembling as she tries to correct the king. Your Majesty, this is not the deceased Queen Scarlet. This is your child, Princess Serenity. King Richard's eyes narrow further, his gaze boring into Martha. I know what I saw, Martha, and I know what I know. I try to make it look like he is losing his mind by looking at him and pretending to like him. I'm gonna freaking mess with this man. You turn your head to King Richard, your tiny features softening into what appears to be a smile. Your eyes, which moments ago were filled with disdain, now seem to sparkle with adoration. You coo softly, your tiny hands reaching out towards him, as if trying to touch his face. King Richard pauses, taken aback by the sudden change in your demeanor. He leans in slightly, his expression softening as he watches you. I'm going to, I have the perfect scene in my head right now that I'm going to make happen. I have it. I have the scene in my head. I can see it in my head. I'm going to see what happens here, and then I'm gonna type out the scene. It's so funny. Martha watches, her eyes widening in disbelief as you transform your expression from disdain to adoration. Your Majesty, she stammers. She's just a babe. She doesn't know what she's doing. King Richard, however, seems captivated by your sudden change. He reaches out a hand, his fingers brushing against your soft cheek. You gurgle happily, your tiny hand grasping at his fingers. King Richard is confused by my behavior. He walks away. When he walks away, I use my tiny fingers to flip him off. discreetly. It's all about the discreetness. I'm gonna mess with this man so badly. King Richard's brows furrow, confusion etched on his face as he watches you. He leans back, his hand dropping to his side, and takes a step back. She's just a babe, he mutters to himself, shaking his head as if to clear his thoughts. He turns to leave, his silver hair swaying gently with emotion. As soon as King Richard's back is turned, you swiftly bring your tiny hand up, your middle finger extending in a clear and deliberate gesture. It's a move that, despite your age, is unmistakable in its intent. Martha, who has been watching the exchange with growing bewilderment, gasps softly, her eyes widening in shock. "Princess Serenity!" she whispers, her voice barely above a breath. I pretend that I am innocent and return to my baby acting ways. Oh my god. Oh, I can charge my phone now. I have a phone charger? Is that specific? Awesome! Let's see. Alright, you quickly drop your baby, your tiny features transforming back into the innocent, cooing baby. You let out a soft gurgle, your eyes wide and seemingly innocent as you look up at Martha. Did I do I can't talk, I'm a 1-year-old baby. Okay. Okay. Martha, her eyes still wide with shock, quickly composes herself, her professional demeanor returning. Come now, little one, she coos, bouncing you gently. Let's not give the king any more reason to worry, shall we? She turns away from the direction that King Richard had gone. Her steps brisk as she walks down the hallway. Let's get you back to your nursery, shall we? As Martha lays me down in the crib in the nursery. It took me a minute to remember what they put babies in. I'm like, I have not been around a baby in a while. Okay, Martha lays me down in the crib in the nursery. I mean, on the crib in the nursery. Whatever. My grammar sucks. She walks away, leaving me alone. I'll lay there and consider my situation. And think about the situation I am in. Because now we're gonna make a plan. We're gonna make a plan for our revenge. We're gonna get revenge. As Martha lays you down in the crib, her footsteps echoing softly as she walks away, you remain still, your tiny body swaddled in soft linens. Your icy blue eyes, however, are wide open, your mind racing with thoughts far beyond your infantile appearance. You ponder the situation you find yourself in, your tiny brows furrowing as if deep in thought. Okay. So we're gonna come up with a plan. It's hard to do anything when you're a baby though, so I might just like kind of summarize like the past few years of her as a baby and move into her being a toddler, because there's not much you can do as a baby. You just eat, poop, pee, and sleep and cry. Lots of crying. You're not just a baby, are you? You're Scarlet, reborn. You're trapped in this tiny body, and your mind is as sharp as ever. You remember everything, the betrayal, the pain, the humiliation, and now you're here in the very heart of the enemy's camp. You look around the nursery, your gaze landing on the portrait of King Richard and Belladonna hanging on the wall. I wish I could light it on fire. I decide that I am going to make a plan. I want to start to be able... However, there is not much I can do as a baby. That does not stop me from trying to mess Belladonna and Richard. Okay, I decide that I am going to mess with them by crying only when Belladonna is around me and pretending I like Richard and pretending that I adore Richard. Alright. I'm gonna try to ruin their relationship as a baby. Put the seeds of discord there. You spend the next few days testing your newfound strategy, using your infantile state to your advantage. Whenever Belladonna is near, you let out piercing wails, your tiny body writhing in what appears to be discomfort. Belladonna's face contorts in frustration each time, her patience wearing thin. In contrast, when King Richard is around, you transform into a picture of contentment, your tiny features softening into a smile. You coo and gurgle happily, your tiny hands reaching out towards him as if trying to touch his face. Richard, taken aback by the sudden change in your demeanor, finds himself softening towards you. He begins to visit you more often, his icy demeanor thawing slightly in your presence. Richard is trying to figure out why I do not like Belladonna. Why I only cry around Belladonna. My plan is working because he thinks must have hurt me in some way. King Richard, his silver hair swept back from his forehead, leans against the doorframe of the nursery, watching you with a puzzled expression. You lie in your crib, your tiny body still, your icy blue eyes fixed on him. He's been visiting more often, his curiosity piqued by your peculiar behavior. Why do you only cry when she's around? He muses aloud, his voice barely above a whisper. Martha, who has been tidying up the nursery, pauses at the king's words. She turns to face him, her expression neutral. I'm not sure, Your Majesty, she replies, her voice careful. Perhaps she's just more comfortable with you. King Richard shakes his head, his brows furrowing. No, that's not it, he says, his voice firm. I wonder what he's gonna do to Belladonna. Serves her right. Even though Richard is not exactly innocent in all this either. Richard's gaze sharpened as he looks at you, his mind racing. She cries when Belladonna holds her, but not when I do. It's as if she's afraid of her. He pauses, his eyes narrowing as he considers the possibility. Or perhaps Belladonna has done something to her. The room falls silent, the weight of his words hanging heavy in the air. The truth is... I am turned to the side with my back against him. I am secretly smirking, seeing that my plan is working. As King Richard ponders aloud, you lie in your crib, your tiny body turned away from him, your back facing his direction. A secret smirk tugs at the corner of your tiny mouth, hidden from his view. Your icy blue eyes, however, sparkle with a mischievous glint, reflecting the satisfaction you feel at seeing your plan unfold. Martha, sensing the tension, clears her throat and speaks up. Your Majesty, perhaps it's just a phase. Babies can be unpredictable, after all. King Richard nods absently, his gaze still fixed on you. Perhaps, he murmurs, but the doubt in his voice is clear. He turns to leave, his steps slow and thoughtful. As he reaches the door, he pauses, his hand on the doorknob. Belladonna walks in. And right on cue, I look at her and begin crying. I cannot wait for this. I cannot wait for the chaos I'm about to create. The chaos. Belladonna Nightshade sweeps into the nursery, her long raven hair cascading over her shoulders. Her emerald eyes flicker over the room before settling on you, her expression softening slightly. That's my little princess, she coos, her voice dripping with false sweetness. As soon as she steps closer to your crib, you let out a piercing wail, your tiny body writhing in apparent distress. You're just like, wah! Oh my god. Wonder what he's gonna do. Belladonna's smile falters, her brows furrowing as she looks down at you. What's wrong, little one? She asks, her voice laced with a hint of annoyance. She reaches out to pick you up, but you turn your head away, your cries intensifying. She's been like this all day, Martha interjects, her voice calm. Perhaps she's just overtired, Your Majesty. Oh no. I only make sure that I cry around Belladonna. Hopefully King Richard sees that. Belladonna's lips purse as her eyes narrowing as she looks at Martha. Overtired, she snaps, her voice sharp. She's been sleeping most of the day. I think she's just being difficult. She reaches out again, her fingers brushing against your cheek. You let out another wail, your tiny body squirming in her grasp. Belladonna's expression darkens, her voice rising. What's she gonna do to me? I'm just a baby. I can't do anything other than cry. King Richard, who had been about to leave, turns back at the sound of your cries. His eyes narrow as he watches Belladonna struggle to soothe you. Perhaps you should just let Martha handle her, Belladonna, he suggests, his voice cool. Belladonna's voice contorts in frustration, her grip on you tightening slightly. I am her mother, she snaps, her voice laced with venom. Oh my god! They're arguing! I caused an argument between my parents, who are both scumbags. I am so happy right now. Oh, this is a pretty dress from Temu. I would show you guys what the dress looks like, but I'm invested in this story. Belladonna's grip on you tightens, her nails digging into your soft skin. You let out another wail, your tiny body squirming in her grasp. King Richard takes a step forward, his expression darkening. Careful, Belladonna, he warns, his voice low and dangerous. You're hurting her. Belladonna's eyes widen in shock, her grip loosening slightly. Jesus, she's hurt. I'm legit being hurt right now. Baby Serenity is being hurt. Do not hurt the baby. Martha quickly steps in, her voice firm yet smoothing. Your Majesty, perhaps it's best if I take the princess for now. She seems to be quite fussy today. Belladonna's lips purse, but she relinquishes you to Martha, her eyes flashing with anger. Fine, she snaps, her voice cold, but this is not over. As soon as Belladonna leaves, I stop crying and am happy again. King Richard and Martha notice this. They're not gonna question why my hair is blonde and I look nothing like either of them. Nobody's just gonna question it. As soon as Belladonna storms out of the nursery, the tension in the room dissipates like a popped bubble. You let out a soft sigh, your tiny body relaxing as if a great weight has been lifted. Your cries subside, replaced by a contented coo. King Richard watches, his expression softening as he takes in the sudden change. Remarkable, he murmurs, his voice barely above a whisper. Martha nods, her eyes reflecting a mix of concern and curiosity. Indeed, Your Majesty, it's as if she knows when Belladonna is near. King Richard's gaze sharpens, his brows furrowing in thought. I've seen that look before, he says, his voice barely above a whisper. When she was just a babe, she used to do the same thing. Indeed, Your Majesty, she's quite the little actress. She bounces you gently in her arms, her eyes twinkling with amusement. She's got quite the temper, too, just like her, father. No, I don't want them to suspect me! She's been like this since she was born. Quite the little drama queen, isn't she? She chuckles softly, her eyes twinkling with amusement. King Richard, however, doesn't seem to find the situation amusing. He steps closer, his gaze fixed on you. I pretend to love and adore him. You turn your tiny head towards King Richard, your icy blue eyes sparkling with what appears to be adoration. You let out a soft, happy gurgle, your tiny hands reaching out towards him as if trying to touch his face. Your Majesty, Martha murmurs, her voice soft and soothing, I believe the princess is trying to tell you something. King Richard's expression softens further, a hint of a smile playing on his lips. King Richard reaches out, his large hand gently cupping your tiny head. What is that, little one? He asks, his voice a soft rumble. You coo and gurgle, your tiny body squirming with what seems like excitement. I think she likes you, Your Majesty, Martha interjects, her voice warm. She's always been this way around you. King Richard's smile widens. King Richard's smile widens, his icy blue eyes warming as he looks down at you. Is that so? He asks, his voice a soft murmur. He leans in slightly, his hand still cradling your head. Well, I must admit, I rather like her too. He chuckles softly, a sound that seems foreign on his usually stern lips. Perhaps she's a little charmer, just like her mother was. King Richard and Martha leave me in the crib alone. As I lay on the crib, I start working on my next plan to get Belladonna and Richard to have a strained relationship. Oh, to dislike each other. As King Richard and Martha leave the nursery, the door clicking softly shut behind them, you are left alone in your crib. Your tiny body is still, your icy blue eyes fixed on the door, your mind a whirlwind of thoughts. You've seen the cracks in their relationship, the tension that simmers just beneath the surface. You've tasted the sweetness of their discord, and you want more! You spend the next few days biding your time, observing, waiting for the perfect opportunity. You notice that Belladonna often comes to the nursery in the late afternoon, her mood sour after what you assume are tense meetings with King Richard. You also notice that King Richard visits you more frequently, his demeanor softening each time he sees you. You decide to strike when the iron is hot, so to speak. I know that Belladonna has a temper, and I intend to activate it. You lie in your crib, your tiny body still, your icy blue eyes fixed on the door. You've been waiting for this moment, and you know it's coming. You hear the soft click of the doorknob, and there she is, Belladonna, her raven hair cascading over her shoulders, her emerald eyes flashing with irritation. There's my little princess. Belladonna coos, her voice dripping with false sweetness as she approaches your crib. You lie still, your tiny body a picture of innocence. She leans over, her long, delicate fingers reaching out to touch your cheek. You wait for the perfect moment, your tiny heart pounding in your chest like a tiny drum. What's wrong, little one? Belladonna asks, her voice laced with a hint of annoyance. I wonder what my character is gonna do. What is Serenity gonna do? You let out a soft, contented gurgle, your tiny hands reaching up towards her. Belladonna smiles, her expression softening as she leans in closer. You can see the triumph in her eyes, the satisfaction of having you under her control. But you have other plans. As her fingers brush against your cheek, you let out a sudden, piercing wail, your tiny body arching away from her touch. Oh my god. Yes! I'm excited. Belladonna's smile vanishes, replaced by a look of shock and annoyance. What's wrong with you? She snaps, her voice rising. She reaches out again, her fingers grasping at your blanket. You let out another wail, louder this time, your tiny body squirming and thrashing as if trying to escape her grasp. Belladonna's face contorts in frustration, her voice rising to a shout. Stop it! Belladonna's shout echoes through the nursery, her face flushing with anger. She tries to grab you again, but you squirm and kick, your tiny body writhing in pain in what appears to be a desperate attempt to escape her hold. What is wrong with you? She screams, her voice laced with frustration and anger. Why are you doing this? Oh my gosh. I think I have done it. I think this is it. Belladonna and King Richard, they're gonna have an argument. My revenge is working. Martha, hearing the commotion, rushes into the nursery, her eyes wide with concern. Your Majesty, what's wrong? She asks, her voice filled with alarm. Belladonna, her face red with anger, turns to Martha, her eyes flashing. This little brat won't stop crying, she snaps, her voice trembling with frustration. Martha's eyes widen at Belladonna's outburst, her professional demeanor slipping for a moment. Your Majesty, please, calm down, she urges, her voice soothing. Let me take her. Perhaps she's just overtired. Belladonna's lips purse, her nostrils flaring as she glares at you. Overtired? She sneers. Belladonna's hand darts out, her fingers wrapping around your ankle. She tugs, a harsh yank that sends a jolt of pain through your tiny body. She's not overtired, Martha, she hisses, her voice a low growl. She's just being a little brat. She tugs again, and you let out another wail, your tiny body writhing in her grasp. I don't even know if I'm saying that word properly. Writhing, writhing. I can... That's writing. I need an H.
Writhing.
Writhing. So I was saying it properly. Writhing in her grasp. Martha's eyes widen in shock, her hand flying to her mouth as she gasps. Your Majesty, please, you're hurting her. King Richard, drawn by the commotion, storms into the nursery, his mask a mask of fury. What in the blazes is going on here? He demands, his voice a thunderous roar. King Richard's eyes dart between you and Belladonna, his expression darkening as he takes in the scene. Belladonna, her hand still wrapped around your ankle, turns to face him, her eyes flashing with defiance. She won't stop crying, Richard, she snaps, her voice laced with frustration. I've tried everything, but she just keeps on wailing. King Richard's gaze narrows as he takes a step towards Belladonna, his voice a low growl. And what exactly have you tried, Belladonna? He asks, his eyes never leaving hers. Belladonna's grip on your ankle tightens, her knuckles turning white as she struggles to maintain her composure. I've tried everything, Richard, she insists, her voice trembling slightly. So is she literally just holding me upside down by my ankle? I don't even know if I'm a month old yet. I am just a baby. Martha, sensing the escalating tension, steps between King Richard and Belladonna, her hands up in a placating gesture. Your Majesties, please, she pleads, her voice steady despite the chaos. Let's not do anything we'll regret. The princess is just a babe after all. King Richard's gaze flickers to Martha, his expression softening slightly. I kind of don't want this. I want them to have the tension. I want them to argue. You let out another wail, your tiny body squirming and thrashing in Belladonna's grasp. King Richard's eyes flicker to you, his expression softening slightly before hardening again as he turns to Belladonna. Everything, he repeats, his voice laced with disbelief. Or perhaps you've been a bit too harsh with her. King Richard's eyes bore into Belladonna, his voice a low rumble. I've seen how you handle her, Belladonna. You're too rough, too impatient. She's just a babe, for God's sake. Belladonna's face flushes with anger, her grip on your ankle tightening even more. I am not too rough, Richard, she snaps, her voice rising. You let out a particularly loud wail, your tiny body arching away from Belladonna's grasp as if in pain. The sound is piercing, grating, and designed to set everyone on edge. Martha steps forward, her voice firm yet soothing as she tries to intervene. Your Majesty, please, you're hurting her. But Belladonna's grip doesn't loosen. Oh man. King Richard's face darkens, his voice rising to match Belladonna's. Damn it, Belladonna, let go of her! He reaches out, his hand wrapping around Belladonna's wrist, forcing her to release you. You're instantly scooped up by Martha, who coos softly, trying to soothe your cries. Belladonna, her face a mask of fury, turns on King Richard. Ooh. How dare you question my parenting, Richard? She screams, her voice echoing through the nursery. You have no idea what it's like to deal with this. She called me a creature! I am a newborn baby, lady! She points a shaking finger at you, her eyes wild with anger. King Richard's grip on her wrist tightens, his voice a low growl. I've seen enough, Belladonna. You're not fit to be a mother. Ooh. She called me a creature! I am not a creature, I'm just a newborn baby who doesn't like her. Does it work now? It shows it's working now. Does it work now? Yay! Okay, it works now. Perfect. So as the door clicks shut behind King Richard and Martha, you turn your attention back to the pigeon in the cage. You tap the bars gently, a soft smile playing on your lips. Bird, bird, you say, your voice filled with affection. The pigeon coos softly in response, its beady eyes fixed on you. You clap your hands together, your tiny body bouncing with excitement. Bird, bird is my pet. I don't know why I am talking like this, because I don't need to talk like this, but whatever. You pull out your secret notebook from its hidden compartment under the floorboard, your tiny hands flipping through the pages until you find the section on training pigeons. You clear your throat, your tiny voice suddenly sounding much older and more confident. Alright, Bird Bird, you say, your eyes scanning the notes. Let's get started. You begin to read aloud, your voice clear and articulate despite your young age. So I wonder how she's gonna train the pigeon. Because I have no clue how to train a pigeon to become a carrier pigeon. First, we need to establish a bond. You say, your icy blue eyes fixed on the pigeon. Pigeons are social creatures, and they'll be more likely to cooperate if they trust you. You reach into the cage, your tiny fingers gently stroking the pigeon's features. Good, birdie, you coo softly, your voice filled with affection. You're a good birdie. Bird, bird. You spend the next few days diligently following the instructions in your notebook, bonding with Bird Bird and gradually training it. You feed it treats, talk to it softly, and even sing little songs to it. The pigeon responds to your affection, cooing and fluttering its wings happily. You're careful to keep your training sessions secret, only practicing when you're alone in your room. I have also started secretly gathering valuables and hiding it underneath the floorboard. Plan on secretly pawning them off when I am a little bit older, so I can save up gold to run away if I need to. You have a plan! As the days turn into weeks, you continue your secret training sessions with Bird Bird, your bond with the pigeon growing stronger with each passing day. You've also started a new habit, one that you keep hidden even from Martha. Whenever you find small, valuable items around the castle jewels, coins, or trinkets, you tuck them away in your secret compartment under the floorboard. Oh my gosh. I forgot I didn't turn on my fan. That's probably why my mic went out, because my computer's hot. I didn't add any text. I don't know why it's telling me this. I don't know why AI Dungeon was yelling at me just now. You've been squirreling away these treasures for months now, and your hidden stash is beginning to look quite impressive. Gold coins glint in the dim light, nestled alongside sparkling gemstones and intricate trinkets. You run your tiny fingers over the smooth surfaces, a sense of satisfaction washing over you. This is your safety net, your insurance policy. If things go south, you'll have the means to escape. So, alright, our goal at 2 years old was basically get our carrier pigeon and start collecting valuables so we can save money up in case we need to run away. Now we need a goal for when I'm 3 years old. Another year has passed. I managed to secretly train my pigeon to deliver letters. I have also managed to secretly save valuables to pawn off when I am older. My goal at 3 years old, my goal was to learn more about the history and diplomacy between Valoria and Exodia. Martha and Richard are shocked. They see me at the library, at the Royal Library, every day studying different books about the kingdoms. Richard decides that I need a tutor and to start getting a royal education. Getting a formal royal education even though I am still very young. I am young. As you turn 3, your curiosity and determination grow exponentially. You find yourself drawn to the Royal Library, your tiny feet padding softly on the marble floors as you make your way to the towering bookshelves. Your icy blue eyes scan the spines, your tiny fingers tracing the titles as you search for books about the history and diplomacy between Valoria and Exodia. Exodia, eliminate! King Richard and Martha exchange surprised glances as they enter the library, finding you engrossed in a thick tome on the political landscape of Valoria. Serenity, King Richard says, his voice a low rumble. What are you doing here? Martha steps closer, her eyes scanning the titles strewn across the table. Your Majesty, she's been coming here every day for the past week, she says, her voice filled with concern. King Richard's expression darkens, his eyes narrowing as he takes in the sight of you, poring over books far beyond your years. This is not appropriate for a child your age, he says, his voice stern. You should be playing with your toys, not reading about politics. You look up at him, your icy blue eyes filled with defiance. But Dada, you say, your voice sweet and innocent, I want to learn. King Richard's expression softens slightly at your pleading tone, but his resolve remains firm. You're too young to understand these things, Serenity, he says, his voice gentle but firm. I'll have a tutor brought in to start your formal education. But for now, you should be focusing on your toys and your lessons with Martha. He turns to Martha, his expression serious. Make sure she's kept away from these books, Martha. I am alone in my room. I am groaning in frustration. From the political history books is going to put a damper on my plans. I decide to figure out another plan to get the books secretly. As King Richard and Martha leave the library, you let out a soft sigh, your tiny shoulders slumping in defeat. You know that King Richard's decision is final, and trying to argue further would only result in more restrictions. You trudge back to your room, your tiny feet dragging it against the cold stone floor. Once inside, you collapse onto your bed, your tiny body racked with frustration. Stupid books. So, how are we gonna get these books now? We have a problem. You groan, your tiny fist pounding against the mattress. Stupid, stupid books, I just want to learn. You roll onto your back, your icy blue eyes staring up at the canopy above. I can't let this stop me, you mutter to yourself, your voice filled with determination. You sit up, your tiny mind racing as you try to come up with a new plan. I decide that I can charm a servant boy into getting the books for me secretly. But what servant boy would work? You recall the young servant boy who often runs errands around the castle. He's around your age with bright red hair and freckles dotting his nose. You've seen him a few times and he always seems friendly and eager to please. You remember him bringing you a fresh apple one day, his eyes sparkling with excitement as he presented it to you. You think he might be the perfect candidate for the plan. What was his name again? I'll add him as a story card. You rack your brain, trying to remember the name of the young servant boy. You've seen him around the castle, but you can't quite recall his name. You close your eyes, trying to picture his face. You remember him bringing you a fresh apple one day, his eyes sparkling with excitement as he presented it to you. You think he might be the perfect candidate for your plan. Ethan, you suddenly remember, your eyes snapping open. He doesn't need a last name. He, a servant boy, I'm gonna say a male servant, just in case, like, he grew, with bright red hair and freckles. He is the same. He is, I'm gonna say, a few years older than me. Ethan. Because I'm, like, 3. We'll make him, like, 5 years older than me. Whatever. We'll just do few. It doesn't matter. Ethan, and work my charms on him. Alright, so I walk around the castle trying to find Ethan and work my charms on him. You slip out of your room, your tiny feet padding softly on the cold stone floor. You make your way through the winding corridors of the castle, your eyes scanning the halls for any sign of Ethan. You spot him in the distance, his bright red hair a beacon amongst the sea of servants. He's carrying a stack of linens, his arms straining under the weight. You quicken your pace, your tiny legs carrying you towards him with surprising speed. As you approach, you let out a soft, "Ethan!" Your voice is filled with a sweetness that's almost sickly, a stark contrast to your usual demeanor. Ethan turns towards you, his eyes widening in surprise. Princess Serenity, he exclaims, a wide grin spreading across his freckled face. I just realized that I should probably put in, location information. Exodia. Exodia Kingdom. The Kingdom of Exodia is ruled by King Richard Ray. I'm just gonna put Exodia. Okay. Exodia Kingdom. The Kingdom of Exodia is ruled by Richard Ray. The Valoria Kingdom is the enemy, has been the enemy of Exodia for many years. I don't know what life is like in Exodia, I just live here. Okay, so Valoria. Valoria. The Kingdom of Valoria is ruled by a king and queen. The king and queen have a son named Prince Edmund. Prince Edmund is the same age as me. The king and queen are kind and love each other. Valoria is the enemy of Exodia for many years. Okay, and then we're gonna put like Prince Edmund in here because he's important. Prince Edmund. I don't know what his last name is. And I don't know what he's gonna look like either, so this is gonna be fun. Prince Edmund. Edmund is the prince of the Valoria Kingdom. He is the same age as me. Okay. Actually, I like keeping this up in case I need to add more story cards. You quicken your pace, your tiny legs carrying you towards him with surprising speed. As you approach, you let out a soft "Ethan!" Your voice is filled with a sweetness that's almost sickly, a stark contrast to your usual demeanor. Ethan turns towards you, his eyes widening in surprise. "Princess Serenity!" he exclaims, a wide grin spreading across his freckled face. Time to work up the charm. Ethan sets down the linens with a soft thud, his eyes never leaving you. "What can I do for you, princess?" he asks, his voice filled with eagerness. You flash him a charming smile, your tiny hands clasped behind your back. "I was wondering if you could help me with something, Ethan." You say, your voice sweet and innocent. "It's a secret, though, just between you and me." Ethan's eyes light up at the prospect of a secret mission from the princess. He leans in slightly, his voice dropping to a conspirational whisper. "What do you need help with, princess?" You take a step closer, your tiny voice barely above a whisper. "I need you to get me some books from the library, but you can't tell anyone, okay?" Ethan's eyes widen with excitement and a hint of mischief. "You like a secret mission?" "Like a secret mission?" he whispers, his voice barely above a whisper. You nod solemnly, your tiny brows furrowing in a serious expression. "Yes, just like a secret mission. And you can't tell anyone, not even Martha or the king." Ethan's grin widens, his eyes sparkling with adventure. Ethan nods eagerly, his chest puffing up with pride. You can count on me, princess. I'm the best at keeping secrets. He holds up his right hand, his pinky finger extended. Pinky promise. You giggle, extending your own pinky finger to meet his. Pinky promise. You echo. Your voice filled with mock solemnity. Ethan grins, his eyes shining with excitement. Okay. I whisper to him the books I need from the library. I need him to get the history and politics for both Valeria and Exodia. And then I'm gonna hide them underneath the floorboards in my freaking room. Jesus Christ. I can't believe I have to do this to learn. It's ridiculous. Freaking King Richard. Alright, Ethan, you whisper, your voice barely audible. I need you to get me some books from the library, but remember it's a secret. Ethan nods eagerly, his eyes scanning the corridor to ensure no one is within earshot. What books do you need, princess? He asks, his voice a low murmur. You lean in closer, your tiny lips brushing against his ear as you whisper the titles. Come on, Ethan. I'm counting on you. Otherwise, I have to make up some other character to get me the books. You can do it, Ethan. Just need to get me some books. I need the diplomatic history of Valeria and Exodia, political landscape of the kingdoms, and the royal lineage of Valoria. Make sure no one sees you, Ethan. You pull back, your icy blue eyes meeting his. Can you do that for me? Ethan's eyes widen with the challenge, but he nods resolutely. Yes, princess, I won't let you down. Late at night, I wait in my room for Ethan to deliver the books to me. They're gonna wonder where the hell these books went. But like, I don't think anybody's gonna miss these books. I am only 3 years old. I want that to be known. I am 3 years old. I'm learning about diplomatic history and the political landscape of these two kingdoms. As the castle settles into the quiet of the night, you sit by the window, your tiny body perched on the windowsill. The moon casts a silvery glow over the courtyard below. You can see the faint outlines of the castle guards patrolling the grounds. You've been waiting for what feels like hours, your tiny heart pounding with anticipation and a touch of nervousness. Finally, a soft knock sounds at your door, and you quickly scurry off the windowsill, your tiny feet padding softly across the cold stone floor. You take a deep breath, steeling yourself for the encounter. Come in, you call out, your voice sweet and innocent. The door creaks open, and Ethan steps into the room, his eyes darting nervously around the space. Why are you nervous? What happened? You just had to get me like 2 books. 2 books, Ethan. It can't be that bad. Cannot be that bad, dude. Ethan's eyes meet yours, and he holds up a small stack of books, his grip tight on the pile. I got them, princess, he whispers, his voice barely audible, just like he asked. You step closer, your tiny hands reaching out to take the books from him. Good job, Ethan, you whisper, your voice filled with praise. You did well. Ethan grins, his chest puffing up with pride. I ask him if he is able to pawn off items for me secretly. You know what? If he can do this, maybe I can make him my gopher. Cause we need to raise up gold in case we need to run away. You take the books from him, your tiny fingers brushing against his as you do so. You flash him a grateful smile, your eyes sparkling with appreciation. Thank you, Ethan, you say, your voice soft and sincere. You've been a great help. Ethan beams at your praise, his cheeks flushing with pleasure. Anything for you, princess, he says, his voice filled with devotion. Wait, what if he gets in trouble? I'm gonna feel so bad if I get Ethan in trouble. He's not gonna get in trouble, right? Like, that's not gonna happen. We're gonna pretend that's not gonna happen. You pause, your tiny brows furrowing as you consider your next words. You've come to trust Ethan, but this is a big ask. You take a deep breath, your tiny chest rising and falling with the effort. Ethan, you begin. Oh, cool. Thank you for following, Soup Cup. You take a deep breath, your tiny chest rising and falling with the effort. Ethan, you begin, your voice barely above a whisper. I have something else I need your help with, but it's a bit more dangerous. Do-do-do-do-do. Ethan's eyes widen at your words, his expression a mix of curiosity and concern. Dangerous, princess? He asks, his voice a low murmur. What do you need me to do? You take another deep breath, your tiny shoulders squaring with determination. I need you to pawn off some items for me, you say, your voice filled with resolve. Ethan's eyes widen even further, his eyebrows shooting up towards his hairline. Pawn off items, princess, like stealing? He whispers, his voice barely above a whisper. You shake your head, your tiny brows furrowing in a serious expression. No, not stealing. I have some valuables. I want you to sell them for me, but it has to be a secret, Ethan. No one can know. Ethan's eyes dart around the room, his mind racing with the implications of your request. He swallows hard, his Adam's apple bobbing nervously in his throat. Princess, I don't know if I can do that, he stammers, his voice barely above a whisper. It's against the rules, and if I get caught, I could get in big trouble. It's okay, Ethan. I'll just do it myself. It's okay. You don't need to do it, Ethan. It's okay. I was hoping you would say yes, though. Like, because acquiring money at an early age, yeah, that's a huge advantage. You sigh, your tiny shoulders slumping with disappointment. It's okay, Ethan, you say, your voice soft but firm. I understand. I'll just have to do it myself. Ethan's eyes widen with concern, his voice filled with urgency. Princess, no! It's too dangerous. You can't go out there alone. You're just a little girl. I'll do it when I'm a bit older. I'm only 3 years old. Oh my god. I'm only 3 years old. I'll do it when I'm 5 or something like that. Since he won't do it for me, I'll have to do it myself. I mean, 5-year-olds can sneak out of a castle, right? And pawn off items without looking suspicious. Totally. Ethan lets out a sigh of relief. Why is this real? Why are you okay with this, Ethan? If I were you, I wouldn't even be okay with this. Ethan lets out a sigh of relief, his shoulders sagging as he realizes the gravity of the situation. Princess, you can't just go out there and pawn off items. It's dangerous and you're too young. He looks at you, his eyes filled with concern. But if you promise to wait until you're older, I'll help you. I don't want you getting hurt. Really? You'll really help me? Just changing my layout right here. Alright, you nod solemnly, your tiny face breaking into a wide grin. Really, Ethan? You'll really help me? Ethan nods back, his expression serious. Yes, princess, I'll help you, but only if you promise to wait until you're older. I don't want anything bad to happen to you. You clap your hands together, your tiny body bouncing with excitement. Thank you, Ethan. Let's see. This is perfect for my plans. I'll just aim to save up as much valuables as I can secretly get, and then have Ethan pawn it off when I turn 5. So we're 3, so that's 2 more years. And then he can pawn off our items. So let's think about what we've accomplished so far. So as a baby, we tried to learn, we broke up Belladonna and King Richard because they're both scumbags. And when we were 1, we learned how to walk, write, and all of that. And 2, I don't even remember what we did at 2 years old. But 3, 2, we got a carrier pigeon so that we can secretly deliver letters. And then at 3 years old, I have, what would you call him? A gopher boy, I guess. Like someone who's gonna see, like a henchman. I got a henchman. There we go. Ethan is like my henchman. He'll do whatever I need him to do. Okay, with Ethan's agreement, your plans begin to take shape. You spend the next few years? Oh, I'm gonna skip 4? I don't want to skip the next few years. I have stuff I need to do. You spend the next few days secretly gathering valuables from around the castle, tucking them away in your hidden compartment under the floorboard. You're careful to only take items that won't be missed, and you're always on the lookout for opportunities to add to your stash. Maybe we'll do months. Okay, I am now 4 years old. I have successfully learned a lot about the political climate. Did I still misspell political? Yes, I did. I definitely did. Climate between Exodia and Valoria. I also have amassed a large pile of valuables to pawn off. My next goal is to, let's see, Prince Edmund. He should be 4 years old too. Is to get into contact with Prince Edmund secretly using my carrier pigeon. I decide to try it out. I put a small letter and attach it to Bird in the middle of the night at my open window in my room. I send Bird. Jesus Christ, I can't even type. To the Valoria castle to deliver the letter secretly to Prince Edmund. I hope that he responds to it. I hope he responds to it. We work so hard. And then if he, like, rejects it, we're just gonna have to we're not gonna give up. We have a plan. We're gonna ruin King Richard's life. This has to work. Okay, as the moon casts a silvery glow over your room, you gently attach the small letter to Bird's leg. Your tiny fingers deftly tying the tiny scroll in place. You whisper soft encouragements to the pigeon, your icy blue eyes shining with determination. Go, Bird! You whisper, your voice barely above a whisper. Find Prince Edmund. Tell him that a friend wishes to make his acquaintance. I don't know why I cannot speak. I swear I can speak. Let's find out what happens. Okay, Bird coos softly in response, its wings fluttering gently as it perches on your tiny, outstretched arm. You take a deep breath, steeling yourself for the moment of truth. With a gentle push, you release the pigeon into the night sky. watching as it disappears into the darkness. You cross your tiny fingers, your heart pounding with a mix of hope and anxiety. Please, please let this work. Maybe what I could do as a 4-year-old, like, we'll try and establish communication with Prince Edmund, and maybe we can start trying to network, like find, like, I mean, we're a 4-year-old, like we can charm people, we can get to know who's important. As the days turn into weeks, you find yourself growing increasingly restless. We're not doing weeks. I don't want to waste that much time. We have stuff to do. So, hours turn into days. You find yourself growing increasingly restless. You've seen Bird on several missions, but so far there's been no response from Prince Edmund. You begin to wonder if your letter ever reached him, or if perhaps he simply didn't care enough to respond. You try to push these doubts aside, reminding yourself that patience is key. Darn it! He didn't respond to the letter! Well, I mean, he is a 4-year-old, so maybe he's like, who and why is there a pigeon sending me a letter? We gotta be patient. We gotta hope that this is gonna work. I decide to move on to the next step of my plan. I begin to introduce myself to the aristocrats and nobles of the kingdom that visit my father. I need to know who they are, why they are important, and how I can use them in the future. And then whoever is useful, I'll put a story card for them. That's what I plan on doing. As the days turn into weeks, you find yourself growing increasingly restless. You sent Bird on several missions. Is it repeating? It's repeating. Retry. This is the first repeat I've gotten so far, so it's not been that bad. As the days pass, you decide to shift your focus to another aspect of your plan. You begin to make appearances at the royal court, your tiny figure dressed in the finest gowns that Martha can find you. Your icy blue eyes scan the room, taking in the faces of the aristocrats and nobles who have gathered to pay their respects to your father. Who are these people? I need to know who they are. You approach the first noble, a tall, thin man with a prominent nose and a monocle perched on his eye. He's dressed in a velvet coat that shimmers under the chandelier light, and his hair is slicked back with oil. He notices you approaching and bows low, a smarmy smile spreading across his face. Your Highness, he says, his voice dripping with false humility. Lord Harrington, you say, your voice sweet and innocent. It's a pleasure to meet you. You extend your tiny hand, and Lord Harrington takes it, his lips brushing against your skin as he bows over your hand. The pleasure is all mine, your Highness, he says, your voice oozing with insincerity. I must say, you're growing into a beautiful young lady. Jesus, he's not even nice. He's just being polite. Insincerity. So he's just saying it just to say it. You wrinkle your tiny nose at his words, your icy blue eyes narrowing with disdain. I'm not interested in flattery, Lord Harrington. You say, your voice firm and clear. I want to know about you. What's your role in the kingdom? Why are you important? Why are you so blunt? Why is my character so blunt? Lord Harrington's smile falters, his eyes widening with surprise. He clears his throat, his voice taking on a more serious tone. Lord Harrington straightens up, his smile fading as he realizes you're not interested in his empty compliments. Ah, well, Your Highness, I am the Earl of Harrington. I serve on the King's Council and advise him on matters of trade and commerce. I'm also a significant investor in several of the kingdom's industries. He pauses, his eyes narrowing as he studies you. Interesting. I'm just gonna copy this for a minute and add a story card for Lord Harrington, because I'm gonna use him in the future. Lord Harrington. Harrington. He is the Earl of Harrington. He serves on the King's Council and advises him on matters of trade and commerce. He is also a significant investor in several of the kingdom's industries. Beautiful. We are going to use you, Lord Harrington. What else does he have to say? And why should I care about that, Lord Harrington? You ask, your tiny brows furrowing in a serious expression. What use are you to me? Oh my god! Are you trying to mess this up? Jesus Christ, character, why are you like this? Serenity, why are you like this? Okay, Lord Harrington's eyes widen slightly at your bluntness, but he quickly recovers. While Your Highness, my connections and influence could prove quite useful to you in the future. I have a keen understanding of the political landscape and could offer valuable insights and advice. Alright, okay, I want to know what he invests in. Okay. What do you invest in? The AI is thinking. Okay, I see, you say? Your icy blue eyes narrowing as you consider his words. And what exactly do you invest in, Lord Harrington? You tilt your tiny head to the side, your expression one of genuine curiosity. Lord Harrington's chest puffs up with pride as he begins to list off his investments. My eyes widen as I hear an important investment. An important area investment that he made. Do you have... No, I don't have Mythic. I have... What do I have? I don't even know what I have. It's like the second one. Let me see. I want Mythic though. I'm champion. I really want Mythic though. I want Mythic because I want to see what everybody's saying Hermes 3 is amazing. I'm using Mistral Small right now. That one seems to be my favorite at the moment. You have champion too? I can add you. What's your name? In here. What kind of scenarios do you like? I left it at hybrid. Yeah. They say that this one is pretty good too. The dynamic. But I don't know. I really love Mistral Small. I tried dynamic and I tried it one time though. Ugh. Maybe I'll try it again the next time I play. I don't, because it says that it switches between all the free ones. So it'll switch between Mythomax, TIE, Fighter, and Mixtral, I think. I don't know. The Valerian Silk Trade. You're invested in Valeria's silk industry. Lord Harrington nods, his chest puffing up even further with pride. Yes, indeed, Your Highness. I have a significant stake in the Valorian silk trade. Yes, I need this. It's just the trial so far. I love it. Want to play a D&D thing with my friends. My name is... I haven't changed it. Cool. Let me see if I can add it real quick. And then I'll go back to this. I don't even know how to add friends. Let me see. Do I search you up here near? I think I just search you up. 986 2450. I don't know. I will figure this out later. I will add you, I promise. I will find a way. See, maybe here. They don't make it easy. I don't even know where my adventure is. It's not even showing. There it is. I'm gonna save your name so I can figure out how to add it later. There. Menu flame icon. Invite players, select this to generate the 8-digit join code, then share that with other players. Select this to generate the 8-digit join code. Oh, okay. Aw, you can't add people? It's weird, it has like a friend thing here. It's a lobby invite. Here. Let me do a new scenario and try it. We'll do this one. Oh wow! 4 plays. That's pretty cool. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna just try this and see if I can add you this way. Blah blah blah. Okay, so we do... Oh, I think I have to make it multiplayer. See if I can do it. There we go! Alright, here we go. Invite players. This is the code. Here, I'll put it here. See, now let me see if I can add you. Yes. Okay, follow, add friend. It worked! It worked! We are now friends. Yay! That's awesome. Now we can do scenarios together. We don't have to do this one in particular. I just made it so that I could add you. I'll just keep this. Can I rename it? And whenever I add someone, I'll just have them join this. This is my friend adding scenario thing. Alright. Okay, so he trades in the Valorian silk trade. So basically what I did is, in the beginning, I had a husband. His name is King Richard Ray, and he cheated on me with Belladonna Nightshade, and he killed me so that he could marry Belladonna. So I was reborn as their baby. So that's how I'm reincarnated as his child. I, as a baby, got them to break up. And now my whole goal is to take down Richard. So that's what I'm doing in my story. So right now I'm trying to get connections because my whole goal is to meet Prince Edmund. And he is the prince in Valoria. But I'm only 4 years old. So it's gonna take me some time to get there. Like, I'm trying to get like power and wealth so that in case I need to run away or something goes bad, I have that to fall on before I meet Prince Edmund. I'm sure it'll work out. Can you tell me how that works? Yeah, what I like to do is I like to start a scenario and then I'll have this open with my story cards, and then whenever like there's an interesting character, I'll just add them to my story with the story cards, because the AI doesn't remember them in the future. So this is like my style of doing it. Of course, Your Highness, Lord Harrington says, his voice taking on a lecturing tone. The Valorian silk trade is a complex and lucrative business. Silk is produced by worms that spin cocoons, which are then harvested and processed into silk thread. Valoria is renowned for its high-quality silk, which is in high demand among the nobility and wealthy merchants. Interesting. Do we have such a thing here in Exodia? Not to the same extent, Your Highness, Lord Harrington says, his voice filled with a hint of disdain. Exodia does produce some silk, but the quality is not nearly as high as Valoria's. Our silk is coarser and less valuable. The Valorian silk trade is truly unparalleled. He pauses, his eyes narrowing as he considers something. Might I tell you a suggestion? A suggestion, Your Highness, Lord Harrington asked, his eyebrows raising in surprise. Of course, I'm all ears. What if we were to disrupt the Valorian silk trade? Nope, I don't want to do that. I want to marry into the Valorian family, so that would be a horrible plan. I was thinking, since Valorian silk is meant for high quality products, what if we focus our silk trade in Exodia to have our silk be made for more durable, disposable products. I misspelled disposable. That way we can compete with them and I can make money as a 4-year-old. I'm gonna tell him to supply me like some of the silk so I can create a prototype and then develop a product that he can sell for me. Would you be able to provide me with Exodian silk? I want to create a prototype of a product that could be sold and manufactured here. Lord Harrington's eyes light up at your request, his voice filled with enthusiasm. Of course, Your Highness. I would be more than happy to provide you with some Exodian silk for your prototype. It's a brilliant idea, and I'm eager to see the results. He pauses, a thoughtful expression crossing his face. In fact, I might even be able to help you secure some additional resources for your product. I nod and provide... and am excited. Yeah. I'm happy that he is willing to work with me, considering I am a toddler. I don't know how many people would be receptive about ideas from a toddler. I'll need a good amount of silk to work with, and perhaps some tools and materials to help me create my prototype. Consider it done, Your Highness. I'll make sure you have everything you need. I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with. My dad... Oh, I refuse to call him my father. King Richard noticed my conversation... Actually, no, forget about him. I go to another key figure and ask who they are, what they do, what their position, what their title is, and how they work with King Richard, because I refuse to call him father. He's my ex-husband, so that would be awkward. As you continue to mingle with the nobles and aristocrats, you approach another key figure who has caught your attention. This time, it's a stern-looking woman with sharp features and a stern demeanor. She's dressed in a dark green gown, her silver hair pulled back into a tight bun. She notices you approaching and bows slightly, her expression neutral. Your Highness? I wonder if I really should... I think after this lady, I'm just gonna focus on the product I want to create with Lord Harrington. And whatever... No, she can't be Belladonna Lightshade because we kicked her out. We are not doing that. Much better. Lady Isolde. You say, your voice sweet and innocent. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Princess Serenity. You extend your tiny hand and Lady Isolde takes it. Her grip firm and her eyes direct. The pleasure is mine, Your Highness, she says, her voice steady and unyielding. I am Lady Isolde, the King's chief advisor. I'm probably not even saying this name proper. Isolde. I always say Isolde. Let's see, what's the pronunciation of it?
Isolde.
Isolde. Okay, now we know how to say it. Isolde. I am Lady Isolde. There we go. Lady Isolde, you say, your voice filled with curiosity. What exactly does your role entail? How do you work with my father, the king? Lady Isolde's expression remains neutral, but her eyes flicker with a hint of respect. I serve as the king's chief advisor, Your Highness. Did that repeat that? What do you advise him to do? Because it can't be commerce and trade because that's what Lord Harrington does. So what the heck do you do? I advise the king on a wide range of matters, Your Highness, from political strategies to military tactics and everything in between. I provide counsel and guidance to ensure the smooth running of the kingdom. I also handle sensitive matters that require discretion and diplomacy. Okay, I'm gonna copy this. No! Stop at the I. Perfect. Lady Isolde. She is the chief advisor to King Richard. She advises the king on a range of matters. From political strategies to military tactics and everything in between. She provides counsel and guidance to ensure the smooth running of the kingdom. She pauses, her gaze steady on you. She also handles sensitive matters that require discretion and diplomacy. Finish. That sounds fascinating, Lady Isolde. Isolde? Now I know. I have to listen to it again. Isolde? Isolde. Isolde. I'm gonna keep this up. That sounds fascinating, Lady Isolde. I sound ridiculous when I say this name. Okay, you say, your voice filled with genuine curiosity. What kind of sensitive matters do you handle? Can you give me an example? Her expression remains neutral, but her eyes flicker with a hint of weariness. I'm afraid that's confidential information, Your Highness, she says, her voice steady. The king and I have a strict policy of discretion when it comes to sensitive matters. I'm not asking for, classified information. I just want to know what you generally advise. The heck? Advise him on. I understand, Your Highness, she says, her expression softening slightly. In general, I advise the king on matters such as foreign relations. Yes, I need this. Trade agreements and the management of the kingdom's resources. I also help him navigate the complexities of the court and the nobility. She pauses, her eyes meeting yours. My role is to provide the king with the information and the guidance he needs to make informed decisions for the benefit of the kingdom. How can you be of use to me? What insights or connections could you provide that would be beneficial to me? Her eyes flicker with a hint of surprise. Oh right, I need to make like a picture. I forgot to make a picture for this. She regards you for a moment before speaking. Your Highness, while my primary duty is to the king, I could certainly offer you guidance and insights that would be beneficial to your understanding of the kingdom's workings. I have a wealth of knowledge in political strategies, diplomatic relations, and the intricacies of court life. Okay, so I'll need her for creating diplomatic relations with Valeria. But, or Valoria, not Valeria. Whatever. Valoria. But I mean, but she sucks with diplomatic relations because Valoria and Exodia hate each other. But I can use her for court to figure out who's important in court. I nod. I decide to use her later if I need to know that, know specific people in the court. To focus more on Lord Harrington and creating a prototype product with Exodian silk. We're gonna do that. As the evening wears on, you bid your farewells to Lady Azolda, whatever. Azolda, there we go, Azolda. And the other nobles, your mind already racing with plans for the future. You know that you'll need to keep your wits about you and your eyes open for opportunities, but for now, your focus is on Lord Harrington and the prototype product. The following days are a flurry of activity. Lord Harrington keeps his promise, and you find yourself with a generous supply of Exodian silk, along with a variety of tools and materials needed for your prototype. You spend hours in your room, your tiny fingers working diligently as you experiment with different techniques and designs. Martha brings you meals and checks on your progress, her eyes filled with admiration and pride. You're a natural princess. I create a product using Exodian silk that is durable and disposable. That is durable and meant for the workforce. To compete with the Valorian silk that is only meant for high quality products. So I wonder what she made, because I can't think of anything. Thinking like shirts, pants and crap like that. You create a prototype for sturdy, reusable cloth that could be used by the workforce. A stark contrast to the delicate Yes! This is what I wanted! High-quality silk products of Valoria. You show this prototype to Lord Harrington and also King Richard. I request a portion of the sales from this product. I need to make a lot of money. So hopefully this will get me money. As the days pass, you finally complete your prototype. You hold up the sturdy, reusable cloth, your tiny hands clutching it proudly. It's not as fine as the Valorian silk, but it's durable and practical, perfect for the workforce. You know that this could be a game changer for Exodia's silk trade. With a determined look on your face, you make your way to Lord Harrington's study. You knock on the door, and after a moment, he calls out for you to enter. You push open the door, your tiny figure framed in the doorway. Lord Harrington looks up from his desk, his eyes widening with surprise. "Princess Serenity!" he exclaims, a smile spreading across his face. "What brings you to my study?" "Lord Harrington," you say, your voice filled with pride as you hold up the prototype. "I've done it! I've created a product that can compete with Valorian silk." Lord Harrington's eyes widen as he takes in the prototype, his smile growing wider. By Jove, Your Highness, that's remarkable, he exclaims. May I? He asks, extending his hand towards the cloth. You nod, stepping closer and handing him the prototype. Lord Harrington takes it, his fingers running over the material, his eyes scanning the stitching. This is excellent work, Princess, he says, his voice filled with admiration. It's durable, practical, and it has a certain rustic charm to it. I think this could be a real hit with the workforce. He looks up at you, his eyes sparkling with excitement. Thank you, Lord Harrington, you say, your voice filled with pride. I believe it has great potential. I'd like to propose a partnership. I'll oversee the production and marketing of this product, and in return, I'd like a portion of the sales. I'm a 4-year-old girl. I don't know how the heck I'm going to oversee any production and marketing of the product. I'll find someone to oversee the production and marketing of this product. Because I am still a toddler. Indeed, Your Highness, Lord Harrington says, his voice considering. That's a sensible proposal. I'll need to discuss the details with the king, of course, but I see no reason why this couldn't work. After all, it's a win-win situation. Exodia's silk trade benefits, and you get a share of the profits. He pauses, his eyes narrowing thoughtfully. You beam at Lord Harrington, your tiny hands clasped together in excitement. I'm glad you see it that way, Lord Harrington. I believe this could be the start of something great for Exodia. Lord Harrington smiles, his eyes twinkling with approval. I agree, Princess. I'll speak to the king about this as soon as possible. In the meantime, why don't you come with me to the royal court? Royal court? Why? Why do I need to go? I have other things I need. Well, I guess there's nothing else for me to do at the moment. I already made my prototype. He has to talk with the dude, with King Richard. Hopefully he doesn't turn it down, because if he does, I have to find a workaround to make money as a 4-year-old girl. Why? To present your prototype to the king, of course, Lord Harrington exclaims, his voice filled with enthusiasm. Your Highness, this is a significant development for Exodia's silk trade. The king should be the first to know about it. Plus, it'll be a grand opportunity to showcase your ingenuity and foresight. I nod and take his hand. I should have mentioned, like, people are gonna be shocked because a 4-year-old did this. Okay. King Richard is shocked because his 4-year-old daughter managed to create this product. As you enter the throne room, the conversations die down, and all eyes turn to you and Lord Harrington. King Richard sits on his throne, his expression one of mild curiosity. As you approach, his eyes widen in surprise as he takes in your tiny figure. Serenity, he asks, his voice filled with disbelief. What are you doing here with Lord Harrington? Lord Harrington bows deeply, his voice booming through the throne room. Your Majesty, I present Princess Serenity with a remarkable development in our silk trade. He steps aside, revealing you and the prototype you hold proudly. King Richard's eyes widen as he takes in the cloth, his expression shifting from surprise to shock. You did this, Serenity? He asks, his voice barely above a whisper, but... Yes, father, you say, your voice filled with pride and determination. I created this prototype. It's a durable, reusable cloth that can compete with Valorian silk in the workforce market. King Richard stares at you, his mouth agape, his eyes filled with a mix of shock and disbelief. But you're only 4 years old, he stammers, his voice barely above a whisper. How did you... Father, you say, your voice steady and confident. I may be young, but I have a keen mind and a desire to help our kingdom. This project is just the beginning. I have many more ideas to improve Exodia. The King Richard's shock slowly gives way to pride, a smile spreading across his face. By the crown, Serenity. You're more like your mother every day. Ew, I don't want to be compared to Belladonna. I'm taking that out. I do not want to be compared to Belladonna. Ew, that is disgusting. We do not want to be compared to Belladonna. What was I doing? I need permission from him to advertise it, to find someone to oversee the production and marketing of the product. I need to find someone to oversee the production and marketing of the product. And I also want a cut of the profits. King Richard's smile widens, his eyes gleaming with pride and admiration. Of course, Serenity, he says, his voice. Yes! Thank God! I thought he was gonna give me a hard time. He gave me a hard time with the books, which was ridiculous. You deserve a cut of the profits. Your ingenuity and hard work have brought about significant development for our kingdom. I'll make sure that's arranged. He pauses, his expression turning thoughtful. As for overseeing the production and marketing, I have just the person in mind. Who? If you tell me Belladonna, I'm going to legit scream. I do not want to see that lady's face. I do not like her. King Richard leans forward in his throne, his eyes scanning the crowd gathered in the throne room. Lord Harrington, he calls out, his voice commanding, come forward. Your Majesty, he asks, bowing deeply, you have someone in mind to oversee the production and marketing of the princess's product? Probably should add myself as a story card on here, but whatever. I'll do that later. Indeed, Lord Harrington, King Richard says, his gaze shifting to you. Given your expertise in trade and commerce, I believe you would be the perfect candidate to oversee the production and marketing of Princess Serenity's new product. What do you say? Lord Harrington's eyes widen with surprise, but he quickly recovers, a smile spreading across his face. Perfect, so he's going to oversee my product, so that makes things easier, so I only report to him. So basically, what I just made him do is he's gonna do all of the work, and I sit there and get paid while doing nothing, just for developing this silk product. Gonna make money by doing nothing. Your Majesty, it would be an honor to oversee the production and marketing of Princess Serenity's remarkable product. I am confident that together we can turn this into a great success for Exodia. Your Highness, I look forward to working with you on this endeavor. I shake his hand and agree. You are gonna make me a lot of money, Lord Harrington. It's a deal, Lord Harrington. Together we'll make this a success. Lord Harrington takes your hand, his grip firm, and his smile wide. Agreed, Your Highness. We'll make Exodia proud. King Richard watches the exchange, his smile growing wider. Excellent. Okay. I go to my room, and it is nighttime. I see Bird at my window. I run to my window in excitement and see that Bird has a letter. You rush to your window, your heart pounding with excitement as you see Bird perched on the sill, a small scroll tied to its leg. You carefully untie the scroll, your tiny fingers deftly unraveling the knot. As you unfurled the parchment, your eyes scanned the elegant handwriting, your breath catching in your throat. I can't believe a 4-year-old wrote this, but I'm not going to complain. The letter reads, My dearest friend, I must admit I was quite surprised to receive your message. I had not expected to hear from someone so young, let alone a princess from Exodia. I am intrigued by your interest in forming an alliance between our kingdoms. I am Prince Edmund of Valeria, and I must say your initiative and determination are commendable. I write back to Prince Edmund. I say, tell him that I am excited to get to know him because we are both 4-year-olds. Because we are both 4-year-olds. I say that I want to know more about him, and in exchange he can ask me questions and get to know me. I send the letter with Bird to deliver to Edmund. At least he was open to us starting as friends. Because he will be key. He will be the instrument to King Richard's destruction. My dearest Prince Edmund, I am overjoyed to receive your letter and to know that you are as eager to form an alliance as I am. Yeah, totally the vocabulary a 4-year-old would use. I am delighted to learn that you are also 4 years old, just like me. It is truly fascinating to think that two young royals from different kingdoms could become friends. I would be honored to get to know you better, Prince Edmund. I am curious about your life in Valoria, your family, and your interests. In return, I am more than happy to answer any questions you may have about me or my life in Exodia. Alright. Okay, this seems better. As the days turn into weeks, you find yourself eagerly awaiting a response from Prince Edmund. In the meantime, you throw yourself into your work with Lord Harrington, overseeing the production and marketing of your prototype. The days are filled with meetings, discussions, and decisions, and you find yourself growing more confident and assertive with each passing day. Alright, I think I'm going to stop right here. This is a good place to stop. I think I'll work on this more tomorrow. I did a lot. Like, how much is this? It tells me how much I did. How much did I do? 279. My gosh, I've only played this for 3 hours. Before I go, I do want to make a picture for this. I'm gonna do the picture thing. See. Let's see. Let's look at the details. Create. Oh, anime girl seeking girl from the Victorian era. Anime princess from the Victoria era seeking revenge. Perfect. I did not expect it to come out so good. Usually it takes like a few tries before it comes out with something decent. This was good. I'm gonna put this in the scenario I created. I also have to fix my scenario because let me see, because I messed up the plot. I messed up the plot essentials. I put my name on it. Gotta just get rid of this. Yeah, perfect. So this has been fixed, and then I can fix the picture. Gonna upload the picture that I just created. Sure. Perfect. Let me see what it looks like. Yay! Woo! This was my first published scenario. I'm still working on these ones. Yay. Alright. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys when I log